Michael Jordan, the basketball player, was tangible. His personal records, the Bulls' 6 world titles, his pure athleticism like no other player in history. But what is indefinable is his likability, his striking good looks, and his charisma. After all, we want to use his telephone lines, wear his sneakers, smell like Mike, be like Mike, but it is clear no one will ever wear Mikey's Nikes the way Jordan did, or sell them the way he did. Here's Melissa Stark.
It wasn't like Michael was so Nike. He never worn Nike. He wore Adidas all the time. Naturally, when Nike came and they made this great presentation, which he liked from the business side, he said, yeah, sounds good. But when he went to his other people and said, now, if you match this, I'll go with you. And they weren't willing to do that.
What no other company was willing to do in 1984 was to give Michael Jordan his own signature line. Nike signed the rookie for $300,000 a year and introduced
Air Jordan. It's all in the imagination.
The foundation was laid for Jordan to become arguably the most successful corporate pitchman ever.
When Michael signed on, the company had sales of less than $1 billion, and today, and due to a lot of factors, Michael being one of them, we're close to a $10 billion company.
Through the years, companies have benefited from Jordan's magic corporate ride. He pitches cereal and sneakers.
Money's gotta be the shoes. Shoes. You sure it's not the shoes?
I'm sure, Mom.
Sunglasses and underwear.
I'm Michael Jordan, and you've been briefed.
Calling cards and cologne. And he sells. A recent publication estimated Jordan-related sales to be worth roughly $10 billion.
He is not an athlete. He is an icon. He is a rock star. I really put him next to Elvis, Marilyn Monroe. He just has transcended our culture and has become an icon.
You see all the business that has been generated around the way you play the game. It baffles me. I'm shocked by it because it never drove me. I never consumed myself with it.
Sometimes I dream.
If you reached into every man's fantasy and said you could be Bill Clinton, or you could be Pete Sampras, or you could be Jonas Salk, or, I mean, you name your legend, whatever thing, and it's going to be Jordan. Who doesn't want to be Michael Jordan? And that's the secret.
It's no secret anymore. Companies realize it's as much about whom they're selling as what they're selling. Jordan, who now has become a brand unto himself, gives their brand instant validation.
There's an instant credibility. When we first looked at Michael, we looked at him exactly that way, as a property, whether it's NFL properties or NBA or Major League Baseball, etc.
Air Jordan and Air Jordan.
What'd you expect? Elmer Fudd?
So are you really selling Jordan and not the product, in a sense?
I would probably tell you, yeah, easily. Product, it comes along for a very healthy ride.
I challenge you to a little one-on-one. Try Rayovac.
And it helps us definitely with the retail trade for the Walmarts, the Kmarts, the Targets, the Sears of the world to say, Rayovac, I should stock those because those are the batteries that Michael endorses, and those are the batteries that consumers are going to come to my store and want to buy because of the star power that Michael Jordan brings to the Rayovac brand.
You can't lose. I like that.
Rayovac credits last year's new Jordan campaign with a $40 million increase in sales. Some reasons for Jordan's effectiveness as a pitchman are obvious. His athletic talents, his work ethic, his wholesome image, and his charisma. But his stature as corporate America's most successful endorser is also due to something else. When it comes to Michael Jordan, people seem to be colorblind.
He's African American, but he is, in a strange way sometimes, white America's idealized version of an African American. That might sound good or bad, but that's reality in that he's educated, he's articulate. He is what black people want to and aspire to be. He is what white people want to and aspire to be.
Over the second rafter, off the floor, nothing but net.
When Jordan quit minor league baseball and returned to the NBA in 1995, investors immediately grew bullish on stock in 3 of the companies he endorsed.
just in that week, in terms of what the stock market believed, him coming back and being the spokesman again for those companies, it was over $1 billion of value added.
Michael's no Bill Buckner.
Even Jordan's baseball shortcomings became a sales pitch.
Go ahead, buddy.
I had this dream. I retired.
I remember reading him the script over the phone. He interrupts me and goes, "Oh, Riz, what do you want to call me a weak-hitting double-A outfielder for?" And I said, "Well, what else would you call someone who bats 199 in Birmingham?" There's this little silence. He says a dirty word, and then he says, "Okay, I'll do it."
I became a weak-hitting double-A outfielder.
Companies like Nike, which has signed Jordan through the year 2020, aren't anticipating the Michael mystique to fade away just because he's retired.
We as boomers dictate everything in the population. There's a reason Mick Jagger still tours at 60. And we're going to not let Jordan go because we just don't want to let him go. And he's smart enough to be able to capitalize on that.
As you can see, Michael has made a fair amount of side money in this decade, nearly $250 million in revenues off the court. He has made almost as much as Palmer, Nicklaus, and Agassi combined.